a lone Iranian helicopter gunships, AUH-60 Blackhawk to be more precise. Not quite as stealthy as its name suggests, it's diving low over the waves, pushing its aging engines and rotors to the limit as it heads for the American destroyer USS Fitzgerald. This is a dangerous game of cat and mouse that has played out many times in the volatile waters of the Middle East. And the stakes are high, but this time, the tables are turned. What you're about to see is humiliating for Iran and shocking for anyone who thinks the US Navy might actually engage in such reckless behavior. Let me explain. Now, from the perspective of the Iranian crew, this is a bold and aggressive maneuver. They read flying low to avoid detection, and they read passing close to the ship to intimidate the crew. And they're doing all of this while broadcasting warnings over civilian channels, trying to force the ship to change course and drive them away. But to the US sailors on board the Fitzgerald, this is nothing new. They've seen these tactics before, many times before. These are classic harassment tactics by the Iranian Navy, and they won't stop until they get what they want. But what they do and yet realize is that the Fitzgerald is equipped with some of the most advanced technology in the world, and they're making the big mistake by thinking that they can intimidate the crew of a US warship. Through the scratched windscreen, the pilot sees the Fitzgerald cruising steadily ahead, its wake carving across the sea as if nothing unusual is happening. Then over the radio, a female voice cuts through the static. "Home and clear, American warship. You are approaching Iranian territorial waters. Change course immediately." The accented English carries little weight on board the Fitzgerald. The crew is unfazed. They know the ship has been operating in international waters all morning. In fact, they're recording every word that the Iranian pilot says, storing it all away in case it becomes useful in the future. They know that the Iranian Navy is using open civilian frequencies with no encryption at all, which means that the US Navy can easily monitor their communications. In fact, they're probably doing it right now. At the same time, Link 16, a highly classified tactical data link that the US Navy uses, is sharing the entire picture with every US asset in the region. From cruisers to carriers, everyone sees the same live data instantly. If this were an actual conflict, that helicopter would have already been destroyed. But this is not a real conflict. This is a show. The Iranian pilot pushes his luck, making another low pass, flying close enough to see the American sailors continuing their work on deck, some even waving back casually, as if greeting tourists. The pilot's frustration grows, but his fuel is dropping fast, and his aging engines are struggling. Gauges show oil pressure falling and temperature rising. He knows he can't keep this up much longer. With a final burst of speed, he turns away, knowing that the US Navy has him beat. They'll have to live to fight another day. But today is not his day. On board the Fitzgerald, the crew watches the helicopter disappear into the horizon, knowing that they've won this round. They know that the Iranian state TV will soon air dramatic music, edited footage, and claims of success. But they also know the truth. The helicopter barely had enough fuel to limp back to base. Its engines were failing, and its mission accomplished nothing more than providing a few minutes of propaganda material. As for the Fitzgerald, it's just another day in the Gulf. But remember, this is just one story in a long and complicated history. There's a lot more to this conflict than meets the eye. Stay tuned for more insights.